This is part 2 of tonight's MAFS review, and the baby bombshell is about to drop. But before we get into it, if you love my reviews, hit that follow button and let's do this every night together. So we have Tony and Mirena's family and friends get together, where we meet 2 of Tony's female friends, Danny and Georgia, and 2 of Mirena's friends, Mick and Joe. I don't actually think her name was Mick. Anyway, the group asked how Mirena was finding the experience, and Mirena said, Tony has a rug, and what Tony wants to do is put everything under the rug, and he doesn't realize how much that's hurt me. Mirena's friends said that Mirena is totally not being herself. She's this vibrant, vivacious woman who walks into a room and captivates it, but that's not the side of her they were seeing. Mirena said that she feels alone all the time because Tony is always having Tony time, and the group wondered if the 2 of them were giving the relationship a decent go. Tony's friends were describing him as really upbeat and fun and happy-go-lucky, and Mirena said something very profound. She said, well, you don't know him until you're in a relationship with him. And amen, Mirena. I dare say, I'm going to do you one better. You don't know someone until you're in a relationship with them and behind closed doors with them. I think that's what she was getting at, but I love that Mirena highlighted this, particularly because this episode highlighted so many themes of abuse. And this is the thing, when it comes to abuse, and I'm not saying that Tony's abusive at all, I just think it's an interesting point to touch on. There are many people in the world who are capable of being excellent friends, but horrific partners. Tony asked what he'd done to upset Mirena so much, and she said, Tony, when you found out that I was 57 years old, you were gutted. On our wedding day, you were like this, you were like this, you were like this. But when you found out that I wasn't 40, you disappeared. Tony, in classic Tony style, was like, Mirena, it's not your age. Come on, I don't care about ages. It's not your age, it's your personality. It's draining me. Tony's friends then asked Tony for some Tony time. And they were like, okay, do you like her? And Tony was like, yeah, I like her, but it's more of a friendship, you know. I don't think there's anything romantic there. And I've got to say, the juxtaposition between Tony's friends and Adrian's friends was just crazy. Tony clearly has really kind, good people in his life that are not toxic because his friends automatically defended Mirena. We love to see it. They were like, Tony, don't you think you just need to give her a bit of a chance? Maybe you should get the romance going a little bit, give it a go. And Tony goes, you know what? When I came into this experiment, I maybe did picture someone a little younger. But maybe that's because I want a baby. The friends were like, huh? You've never said that ever in your entire 50 years that we've known you. And he was like, yeah. And it's just taken to this moment to realize it. I want a baby. I'm sorry, but Tony, you're not fooling anyone. Mirena, I owe you a big fat apology. She was right. Mirena was right the whole time. And I've been doing a bit of digging about the Tony and Mirena situation. I have a lot more to share. But I feel that Mirena's been made out to be really overreactive and somewhat aggressive, I guess. But after what I found out, I think her behavior has been totally justified, and they've edited out a big storyline that would really go a long way in explaining her behavior. Let's call a spade a spade. Tony doesn't want kids. Tony just wants an excuse for wanting a younger wife. So Tony then takes Mirena back to the Sky Suites to share his massive epiphany with her. He sits her down and he's like, Mirena, there's something that I've worked out. And it turns out that all I want in this life is to be a dad. And that's why I do kind of want a 40-year-old. She was like, really? It's so crazy how Tony has just poof come to this conclusion all of a sudden. And yeah, Miranda, you're totally right. We're with you. I don't even know how to explain what happened back at Veronica and Farquaad's apartment because it was just baffling. They had this big fight about the letter writing task. Veronica's main issue was that she didn't learn anything new about Elliot, and Elliot's main issue was that he felt he had been vulnerable with her, and yet his vulnerability wasn't good enough for her. It was truly exhausting to watch. They just butted heads the entire time, and I think what's happened here is that Elliot has met his match. I actually think these two are so similar that they clash. And I don't think Elliot knows what to do when confronted with someone who is so similar to himself. All I can say though, wow, Veronica is incredibly articulate and very good at asserting herself. Farquaad would try to speak and she'd be like, sorry, that was my turn. You see how I'm talking? Yeah, that means it's my turn. I was scared through the screen. Elliot was like, I'm sorry you feel that I didn't open up to you. Veronica was like, that's not what I said. Elliot was like, okay, what did I say? And Veronica was like, I said that I felt that I didn't learn anything new from you from the task. Elliot was like, okay, I was paraphrasing. Veronica goes, well, don't. I'd appreciate it if you used my actual words instead of putting words in my mouth. We love a strong, independent queen, but there needs to be some conflict resolution skills here. Finally, Veronica said to Elliot, I feel like I don't trust you. And Elliot was actually surprisingly good at explaining what was happening. There were so many times throughout that fight where Elliot described what was happening and I was like, yes, you just articulated that so well. Anyway, at this point, Elliot was like, okay, I feel like we've reached a breakthrough. And then all of a sudden, Veronica got up, she stormed out. She was like, I just can't deal with this. I just can't deal with this. Elliot seemed genuinely disappointed and upset that Veronica left just as the conversation started to feel productive. Elliot said that he wanted to have the opportunity to thank Veronica for telling him that she didn't trust him because that would give him an opportunity to right that wrong. And guys, I'm confused. Do we like Elliot now? What is going on? I don't know, but I need to find out. Also, what is this Paul drama tomorrow night? I need to know. So, if you love my reviews, you know what to do. Hit that follow button and I will be here same time, same place tomorrow night.